All right, y'all. Welcome to very frozen East Texas here. I have not made a terrible video in a long time, so I decided, let's go ahead and let's bring some terribleness into the world again and make a couple videos today. I'm actually going to try and make another one covering the Sermon on the Mount. Sort of going to be given my opinion versus what Jordan Peterson what he just put out. And I genuinely love the man. So, well, I don't know him. I love what he's doing. Whatever that means to you. But he's definitely the person that put me on this path that I'm on now. But the subject of this video, again, I'm not a content creator. I'm not trying to entertain you. I'm not even trying to convince you of anything. I make these things to record my progress and where I'm at as mile markers for my children to try and understand me in the future. And also to make them more real. You see, if you just have thoughts and whatnot, and they're not you, if you don't put these ideas into the world in a way that just sort of exist as pure potential, and by engaging with these, I know I am bringing them into concrete reality. This is the model of Gnostic Vedanta, but love. I'm going to have to explain the lesser gods. You see, there are many forms of love, and English is terrible at describing love. We have so many different kinds. The kind of love that I'm talking about is the base level, the deepest level of love. Not like the love of your favorite food or favorite color or whatever, or your favorite, sports team or whatever. There are so many forms of that word. And you see, all the other forms are lesser gods. These are singular entities that can infect you. They are part of your experience here. Gnostic Vedanta holds that we are basically tethered to avatars. And these avatars are here for the experience of being. And the reason for this form of experience is to prevent basically the contamination that can happen from experiments. And it's strange to believe that this beautiful place that we live within is a form of an experiment, but that's what it is. It's a quarantined version of something that is real. But all that aside, we have the lesser gods, and these things can't possess you. All you have to do is look around at the world today, and you will see people have absolutely lost their mind. And, well, your mind isn't yours in the first place. You have almost zero control over your mind. I've made several videos on free will, or, do we have free will or not? And my answer is we, for the large part, do not. If you do not learn to control the lesser gods, if you do not learn to control your desires and your drives, if you do not learn how to quiet your mind, if you do not learn how to live according to your nature, then no. You have almost zero control. You're a little piece of foam floating on the ocean, and the currents will drive you wherever they may. And that's fine. It really is fine. Now, this side tangent, because I haven't made a video in a long time, is my way of saying that of attempting to introduce the fact that love, this base form of love, is not one of these. This form of love derives from action. It is an outcome It is a product. It is not a singular entity. It is not a single-minded thing that can take over and possess. This is something that is generated. And the story of Sisyphus explains it perfectly. The image of Sisyphus rolling the boulder up the hill just for it to roll back down again. This is the love of God keeping the universe alive. God so loves the universe that no matter what happens, the boulder rolls down every time. Every time. The force that pushes God to make tomorrow come, Sisyphus to roll the boulder up, for you to live in a relationship that isn't perfect with somebody that you may not even like anymore, for you to still love your children even though they have perhaps done something egregious, for you to live in a world that has completely lost its mind, yet you wake up every day and continue to try and do the best you can. This love derives from a singular thing, and it is a physical property that arises through engagement with reality. I don't know if that made any sense, but what it is creation is pulled down by the force of entropy. One way of looking at it. Entropy pulls back to the center, and it is love that pushes it back up, pushes it out. It is love, by definition, is the counter force to entropy. Entropy is the force that drives to decay, and love is the force that pushes to grow and to blossom, to roll that boulder back up the hill. This is the love of God. It's not any of these other versions, definitions. And this is a very hard concept to hold on to. It's very hard to, the image explains it. And that's why images are so powerful. That's why stories are so powerful. I think I'm going to leave it there, my friends. I want to keep this short. The definition of love is the force that overcomes entropy. I'll give you another example real quick, just to bring it back to what's going on in my life. I sort of was put into a situation where I bought this house here. And entropy is pulled upon this house much harder than I would have liked. But you see, I'm trying to build a home. And it is love of my family. It is love of existence with my family that gives me the strength and the energy to wake up and to fight the entropy of a house that is falling down. It isn't, it's not an intelligent thing to do, you see, but it is love that builds a home. It is love that builds a family. It is love that makes the world a better place. You see, if you turn on the news or whatever you do nowadays to get your information, you can see the world's quite literally going insane. That's because they have surrendered to entropy. They're not fighting against entropy, they're just raging with entropy. And I'm not referring to one specific group. I can't think of anybody who's not raging with entropy. There's a lot of folks that claim to want to make their lives better, make the world better. There's a lot of folks that say that we're not here to make the world a better place, that it's just like a personal experience. These people are dead wrong. Now, you are allowed to live your life like that. You're allowed to live your life in many ways. It's the reason why tragedy exists. People are murdered in public because tragedy is real and it's allowed to happen. That is the force of entropy. And the fact that these things are happening is an indication that love is losing. So if you want your life to be better, if you want your relationships to be better, if you want your experience to be better, you learn to overcome entropy. In the Beatitudes and the Sermon on the Mount will teach you how to do that, which is going to be in the next video. I've talked about the Beatitudes before, but like I said, I'm going to be responding to Jordan Peterson and his first video that he put out. I think he did it a month ago. I really haven't spoken in a long time. I was really, really busy until New Year. And then now I'm just looking where to get a foothold on where I'm going with this. My writing's kind of stalled. I've given in to entropy a little bit. I got on a Substack filled with entropy. On Medium, filled with entropy. YouTube, entropy. It's all collapse and decay. And the lesser gods taking hold of everybody. So when the ancient teachers speak of love, and that God is love, this is the definition. Master your attention, my friends. And perhaps you can find a way to overcome the entropy of this world today. I'm going to leave it there. Till next time.